Hello everyone and welcome to Momentum channel. My name is Mo, and in this video, as part of our weekly stock investment portfolio challenge, we are in week 15 and we're going to take a close look at our Wealthsimple Trade stock investment portfolio. As you might have been following our journey here, this is a small account challenge. The goal is to grow our investments from a mere $5,000 all the way to $250,000, and we're definitely making good progress over the past several weeks. And in this week, looking at our overall portfolio, you see that our overall account balance is now at $25,716, which is showing a very decent increase compared to the previous week, and definitely is the highest amount ever reported in our weekly portfolio challenge. So that's really great. What we're going to do as part of this video, similar to the past ones, we are going to show you what stocks or ETFs we've purchased over the span of the past 1 week, what dividend income we've earned, and what stocks we are planning to buy in the week ahead, and what is our strategy and approach to investing in the stock market for the upcoming week. And we'll also take a close look at some of the key observations, key lessons that we've learned over the past 1 week, and where this portfolio is headed. Without any further ado, let's get into this video. All right, so as you can see here on the screen, the total balance for our account definitely has grown. It's now showing $25,716. In terms of our overall gain and loss for this portfolio, it is showing a positive return of 43% all-time return, which is for about a 2-year or 1.5 to 2 years time frame, which is quite decent return. Our average yield for this portfolio is at 1.51%. This is kind of divided between overall yield, average yield of 1.15% for our Canadian investments, and 1.86% average return in terms of dividend income for our US portion of our investments in this portfolio. Our total dividend income, expected dividend income annually, is now sitting at $382.11. As we continue to add more shares of dividend stocks and ETFs to our portfolio, this amount is gradually growing, and it is actually one of our milestones that we want to get to a point where we can bring this dividend income to a higher level, definitely to increasing our average yield for our dividend income. If you look at our overall total dividend received so far since the beginning of this portfolio inception, we are now sitting at $404 of dividend income earned, which is quite impressive. Since we are in the month of July, we can now take a close look back at the month of June, and you see that in the month of June, we earned $34.42 from our investments in Wealthsimple Trade Portfolio, which is not quite bad. And in fact, it is very much in line with our monthly dividend income average of $31.84, so slightly higher than that. For July, as you notice, we already started earning some dividend income, $1.90, which we'll take a close look at it in a moment. Before we get there, though, let us take a closer look at our kind of investments broken down by the different sectors and where they are, what are our top sectors. As you notice here more easily, the information technology sector is our major section and investments that we have, with about 47% of our investments. Following that, we have healthcare sector, which is standing about 22% of our investments. And after that, the third largest sector that we are invested in is, in fact, the financials, with around 11% of our investments. All in all, if you look at it, these three sectors roughly account for about 80% of our investments. So it is quite considerable. We are planning to gradually tone down a little bit on the information technology exposure and diversify a little bit further by investing in other sectors that you see here. We have some ones that are definitely smaller in terms of exposure. Utilities definitely smaller ones, but we've been trying to add to some of our shares in the utilities sector that we're going to take a close look at it. If you look at our recent transactions, we bought the past 1 week 3 different shares. In fact, those included our purchase of the Horizons Global Semiconductor Index Units ETF, ticker symbol CHPS. We bought one share at the price of $26. We bought also REIT stocks in real estate, True North Commercial REIT, ticker symbol TNT. We bought one for the price of $7.37. And we also bought one share of XDIV or iShares Core MSCI Canadian Quality Dividend Index ETF. We bought one for the price of $23.23. You can also see some of our previous purchases, and you notice AQN is one of those stocks that we've been gradually adding to our positions as the price of this stock has gone down. It is in the utilities sector. All right, with that, we're going to take a close look at our portfolio as a whole and see where things are at. We're not going to necessarily look into each and every one of items here, but on a higher level look, you see here, we can take a look at our overall gains in terms of percentages, gain and loss in terms of dollar value, our annual dividend. You could also take a look at the dividend yields for these stocks and the estimated annual dividend and what's the lifetime dividend income. The ones that are highlighted in red, obviously, are the ones that are negative territory. Royalty Pharma, it does pay a dividend yield of 1.52%, and it is now at the negative territory. We have 30 shares of those, and that is one of our holdings that we might continue to hold, probably not necessarily adding more shares unless this stock price continues to decline even further. At that point, we might add more shares to take advantage of dollar cost averaging. Otherwise, we are happy with the number of shares we have. Corsair Gaming is a slightly different story, though. We do have some limit buy orders. We are comfortable to buy shares of Corsair more so at the price of around $30 or perhaps low 31 or high 30s. Right now, it's sitting at the current price of $32. If that happens, those limit buy orders will be fulfilled, and we are going to try to take advantage of dollar cost averaging. Our purchase price, as you see, our average purchase price for the 10 shares is at $36.30. All right, if we look at further, we also are seeing that majority, in fact, all of our Emerge ARK Invest ETFs, these are the Canadian version of the ARK Invest ETFs, are now showing a positive return, which is just impressive. If you recall, a few weeks ago, we were sitting at negative territory, and we kind of stayed confident that this would change, and we added actually more and more, took full advantage of dollar cost averaging, and it's actually starting to pay off. Although they are not the greatest return yet, but this is just the beginning, and we are already showing a good, decent size of number of stocks for these Emerge ARK Invest exposure. So we will continue to add more shares. They are not, of course, any dividend-paying stocks, but nonetheless, they are very much growth ETFs that we would like to maintain and add to our positions. Green Lane Renewables, we have 157 shares. That's one that we are a little bit disappointed with. The stock definitely has fallen a little bit out of favor, and it is showing a negative return of 28%. We are gradually adding to our shares if we can. We are adding some limit buy orders at the prices that are a little bit cheaper. At 1.51, it was the last trading price, but we've also bought and added to our shares at the price of 1.30 range. So that's the price that we are comfortable. If it ever hits that range again, we will definitely add more to our existing number of shares to take advantage of dollar cost averaging. 𝗖𝐿𝐊, we have 8 shares, and it's showing a negative 20% return. We are not going to be adding to our shares at this time. We are comfortable with the number we have, and hoping that gradually over time, this actually is going to recover and get back to the positive territory. But for now, no plan to add more shares of 𝗖𝐿𝐊 at this stage. With NEO, it has recovered quite a bit, and it's getting to that point of almost break even, like the zero, no loss or no profit level, which is quite impressive in a sense, because a few weeks ago we were horribly in a negative territory with that, so it has paid off. With Plug Power, a while ago we added some more shares, took advantage of dollar cost averaging. At this stage, we don't intend to add more. We might keep an eye on it if Plug Power continues to drop further, and that might be a stage where we might be adding to our shares of Plug Power. In terms of where we want to focus more our emphasis on, we are going to continue to add more shares of Algonquin Power and Utilities, AQN. That's the utilities. We want to get more exposure to utilities, and it is one that we are slightly at the negative territory. It does pay a 4.37% dividend yield at this time, although we haven't earned any dividend income from this company yet. But with the number of shares that we have, we are expecting a $7.29 dividend income annually. We want to gradually add more shares of AQN at the prices as the prices continue to go down. So we have some limit buy orders for that. The other one that we would like to add more of, and we've started to grab more of shares of it, is the Horizons Global Semiconductor ETF, ticker symbol CHPS. It is Canada's first semiconductor ETF. We made a video about that recently on this channel. If you haven't watched that video, be sure to check it out. And we'll leave a link in the description of the video and as a card. That's definitely one of the stocks that we are, one of the ETFs that we are actually very bullish about, especially with the shortage in the semiconductor field. And we want to take advantage of that and gradually build a stronger base here. With CHPS, you get exposure to high quality semiconductor companies that each one of them are very expensive stocks, companies like NVIDIA, which is hovering around 700 to 800 US dollars range. And you have Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, again, such a high quality company. But rather than going and buying those companies, we are going to buy this Canadian dollars ETF. And if the fact that we are buying it through Wealthsimple Trade, we are not paying any commission for that, no fee for this trade. If you haven't opened up an account with Wealthsimple Trade, that's definitely some option for you to consider. Be sure to take advantage of the referral link that is in the description of the video to open an account and take advantage of the referral bonus code. That's something that definitely we would encourage you to do if that's something of your interest. Well, there you have it. This is a quick look at our stock portfolio, where it stands, and what are some of the game plan for the week ahead. As I mentioned, AQN and CHPS are two of our key positions that we want to gradually add more to our existing shares. The other option that we have and approach that we are taking, we wanted to also gradually bring up our dividend yield average. So in that sense, we will be focusing on our companies which are showing a higher dividend yield overall, and the ones that are not necessarily trading so close to their 52-week high price. We want to have a little bit of the gap just so that we can buy them at more reasonable prices. Ideally, that way, bringing up our average dividend yield, adding to our potential expected dividend annual income, and of course, gradually growing this portfolio. In terms of the deposits to this account, we recently added some funds to our account. So if you look at it, we had an addition of $150 on July 2nd to our tax-free savings account. In terms of our milestones, we have still maintained the ones from the last one. We have already showing the reaching of the 1.5% average dividend yield and already reached the $25,000 account balance. Next kind of milestones for us would be reaching the $35,000 account balance, as well as being able to bring up our average dividend yield to 2%. With that, thank you so much, everyone, for watching this video. Another weekly stock investment portfolio review, and one that I would like to thank you for following our journey. I would love to hear from you and know what stocks or ETFs you are planning to add to your portfolio right now in the stock market. Do you own any of these stocks or ETFs that we talked about in your own portfolio? Love to hear from you, so be sure to leave us a comment down below. As always, I hope you found this video beneficial and gained something of value from it. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe to Momentum channel and give this video a thumbs up. Here on Momentum channel, we post weekly various videos about investing, whether it's in the stock market, cryptocurrencies, real estate, and other avenues, as well as focusing on financial freedom. With that, thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time.